Hello ladies and gents, I am Nother Neter and welcome back to From the Depths, Nother Neter, the community-based campaign. We are beginning in the designer, and that is because although I showcased a few of the designs we're going to be implementing in this episode, I am going to be implementing a couple more. Well, actually quite a few more in fact. We are going to be adding in another couple of planes into Fleet 2. We have from Sovereign Cataclysm, we have the SC Impetuous Fury, or Faculty. Impetuous Faculty. It's a 12k design, and it should do quite well as a little plane here. It has quite odd looking arrangement of systems on the top there. What on earth? Oh, they're all a load of... interesting. Load of 90-degree radars. Where's it gone? Ha! There it is, flying in the sky. It seems to have a fairly large, accurate gun on the base there. And let's just quickly showcase this against one of our regular designs. Love it. Let's just send it against the Kelmar. So the turret turns pretty quickly, and that is a heck of a spam arrangement there. And yeah, doesn't look to be a particularly fast shell, but aiming down on its target is going to do incredibly well with those fragmentation warheads, and it has a decent amount of shielding to protect itself against a lot of attack. Oh, that is actually butterfly shielding. Oh, fantastic. Nice bit of butterfly shielding will keep this very, very well protected. Doesn't look like it's going to be able to dodge much, but that is going to be a very, very strong force due to the fact it has a very high angle of attack, able to navigate the corridor we are going to be sending it through with ease. The other design we are going to be implementing is KO56's B1A3. This is going to be the T2 design in place of Richard Dastardly's, because unfortunately Richard Dastardly has not been able to come up with a Tier 2 design in the short space of time between the recording of these two episodes. Well, the release of episode and this episode. So this is a massive bomber. Inside here is a huge array of bombs, and I just want to show this off because it is glorious to see all the bombs just launch out of this thing and then head towards the unsuspecting and little weak target. So they are smart bombs, they home in, and they just tear through things at a rather ridiculous rate, and it is really quite fun to watch just how many bombs they're still falling. And yeah, it is AI dead and probably 2 damaged as well. So a single bombardment did that. Still explosions. Did a fantastic array of just completely annihilating the Kelmar there. And this is going to do very, very nicely, I feel, because again, it is something which has a very, very straightforward attack pattern and should be able to land a lot of shots on the enemy stuck within that corridor we are going to be attacking in this episode. With regards to a couple of other designs, I am no longer going to be spawning in multiples of the same design. So things like the Silent, I in fact am going to have to scrap one. Fortunately for me, the designer of the Silent, that is Skullsploder, has already provided another replacement, the FA2 Aetios. It is a very, very small, cheap little flying design with a few simple autocannons on the base there. And there's not much to say about it. It is a very, very, very small and very, very, very cheap flyer. And it should do quite well at just taking out minimal things such as the vanguards, the outlines, and any of the below 5 fleet point designs should be a good target for the Aetios. And yes, as I said, one of the Silents is going to be deleted because of that. For a single design, I'm only going to spawn one in, even if it doesn't meet up to the 15k value at the current tier. Though it's all a little bit dependent on the requirements of the force, but with our number of designs, I don't need to spawn in multiples of the same thing, which this should allow us to go through more vehicles. As for slight changes, what we have is from Arboreus, we have had the Catfish and the Catfish with Torps, both these have served very well, but I'm going to be replacing the pair of them with the Manta. And the Manta is essentially a much larger variant of the Catfish with torps. So it has a load of torpedoes along the bottom and a much larger supercavitation gun on the top there, as well as just a much more robust outer shell, which should keep it very well protected. This also does have the inter-vehicle transmitter, which will allow it to link up with the rest of our forces and shoot air targets. With its slightly larger gun, that should help with the fact that it has supercavitation rounds. I'm just going to double check that. Yes, it does have supercav. I'm talking about it does, and it does in fact have them, which is very nice. The other design we're going to be changing is the Soldered Mayhem. We're going to be swapping that to the Wave Blade from Charidon, and as you can see they are pretty similar. The Wave Blade though is a much quicker design. It's a lot slower in the water, which should mean that it isn't going to get hit quite as easily. It also goes for the more, well, robust multiple intakes and a much larger gun here, which I think, yep, HE, yeah, big, again, HE pen depth, interesting. I'd still personally go for inertial, but pen depth can work, I guess. It does allow you to do a little bit of that kinetic damage, which with the larger rounds should definitely help. And send it against the Kelmar to observe how that goes. And yeah, big barrage of shots. And they did all hit behind, but that's because the Kelmar was easing up out of the water. But they're doing decently well already. It is a little bit faster. A smaller target, faster, and those shells are doing remarkably well, considering they are just a direct feed gun. So I'm hoping the Waveblade here will do a lot better and service a lot better than the Soldered Mayhem did, which unfortunately did take a couple of nasty strikes from Cram, which the Waveblade should be better at avoiding, and avoiding Cram shells is a very effective method because it is quite difficult, not impossible mind, to defend against them using passive or active defences such as shields or LAM systems at this 15k tier. We should start getting those sorts of defences around about the 30k tier, though I do believe some of these designs, I think from Raziel, do have those defences. Yet that is the new designs just roughly gone over, and let us go into the campaign and see how we will fare. So loading up the latest. One thing to note, I did go through and sort out the outposts, so these should just be able to retrofit them automatically. Yes, there is a new variant, and that should allow us to retrofit and just make them that little bit better. These then do have a faster respawning. So the Silent, you are going to be scrapped. Sorry about that. The Catfish, you get scrapped, and you get scrapped. And then not the Responder, the Solid Mayhem. Let's spawn in the new designs. Right. The new designs are spawned in. Let's just quickly build them up. I've got a repair ball going there. They're operating there. Now, let's go over to the miner. Let's spawn in the new Air Force. So we have Endrin's plane, Captain's Spearhead, we have Quaho's B1A3, we have Sovereign Cataclysm's Impetuous Faculty, not Fury, and we have Quirt's Eka version 10. So we're just going to remove the outpost. That's we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought I had 6 designs. I'm missing a drone. Ah, Normal's Monk. And there we go, Normal 69's Monk class. There we go, that should now, yes. So the miner can be scrapped, but actually both miners can be scrapped there. That because there's enough resources for the new plane force to go operational. So let's go take these on before we head over to take on the pirate lords, which again, another load of hoplites. Let's engage with this battle. Now that is a lot of hoplites, and this battle is actually going to take a while because we have fairly limited AA in this fleet. The politician is definitely going to be doing well, as is the dolphin. But I'm also expecting good things from the responder as well. Silent, just, well, ain't going to do anything, is it? So I'll jump on the dolphin, because I think that's going to be a good position to observe this battle in. And we do outnumber them quite considerably, because they are a load of hoplites. It's a shame I didn't manage to fit in my big fragmentation flak cannon thing, which can take out entire swarms of 50 plus hoplites in a single shot. But it was a little bit too expensive. It is a 30k design after all. So, here are the hoplites and the wanders. Let us observe this battle. Straight away we have quite an awesome looking array of shots coming out from both of the wanders. Lots of different coloured shells, a load of missiles, and the hoplites are moving in with their two little balloons. Missiles from our forces head in and start striking them, knocking out a load of the balloons with those fragmentation warheads. The dolphin coming in for a dive bomb attack against one of the wanders, but it gets a little bit too close and is struck by a load of missile fire, which is a bit unfortunate. However, from this angle we are in perfect position to see the line of hoplites being struck by the barrage from the Charcharodon's wave design there. Wonderful little strike, hitting multiple in the air with just a single barrage. A lot of the balloons are now being shot down by that tiny little drone, by Skull Sploder there, the FA2. A very nice little addition there, because it is able to shoot down, knock out the balloons, and as soon as the enemy are nearby, they start getting hit by things. So I'm just trying to observe what on earth is going on with the detection. If you can figure out, be my guest. I can't. But what is obvious is that it is working, and we are able to annihilate all the tiny little drones in very quick fashion. And I do believe it is actually those simple autocannons doing the vast majority, since it knocked most of them out of the sky by hitting the balloons at the top there, making them an easy target for all the rest of our forces. Well, I forgot how ridiculously easy hoplites are to kill, and the actual FA2 did a very good job there. The simple autocannons with a high rate of fire did a significant amount of damage to the fairly weak designs. Ooh, at last we have some repair capabilities in this force. I really don't want to engage this force on the land, but by the looks of it I might have to. Oh, that's such a pain. Thankfully, the Air Force are almost complete. The Eckler and the B1A3 are down at 50%, but the others are all ready for combat, as and when it is convenient for them. What we're going to do though, we're going to engage this pair of forces here. So we are heavily outnumbered, but we're definitely not outgunned, because the river home and all that are just going to crash into the water, well, crash into the land and not even land in the water. So we've got the politician going inside there, the wave blade, again, the two fighters are our best chance, though the torpedo one might have a little bit of a decent look as well. Yeah, as suspected, a load of the enemy just spawned on the land. I may end up going to help capture these because, well, look at it. Everything's just going to, well, everything's going to explode anyway, so there's not too much to concern myself with, I don't think. One thing, they didn't explode, which is annoying. They have quite a bit more resilience, it seems, than the Ashes of the Empire vehicles, which would explode almost instantaneously. The Dolphin coming in for another strike straight away, and again it gets a bit close and just kind of injures itself and dashes into the ground, as does Charcharodon's wave breaker there, slicing off one of the sides there. Unfortunately, the river home has crashed onto its side and isn't being much of a threat either, but we do have quite a few little things here. So that is the, that's not the coffin now, is it? It's the little one. I can never remember its name. But that's going along quite nicely and is being, well, just irritating and absorbing a lot of strikes. But I'm just now trying to observe what on earth is going on. And decide, you know, it's time to get Rambot into the fight. And here I am, just gunning down the hoplites which were orbiting around above that little ship there, just shooting them out of the sky. And this just kind of goes to prove just how easy they are to kill, because just Rambot's random minigun fire is able to knock them out of the sky and at several points just destroy them before they are even struck by anything else. So yeah, very easy, and a few little captures there as well. This designs, they are complaining about low and no ammo. This is a bit of a concern because our forces don't have that great a range with the resources. They just aren't able to support each other. But one thing, it is not many enemies left remaining, so the fact that we don't have much ammo left is not too much of a concern. Unfortunately, the Richard Dastardly's politician is still able to fire at long range, though there is the silent stuck on the ground. Unfortunately, Richard Dastardly's design is quite a way off, so again, I'm jumping around, trying to repair things and just keep things operational. Unfortunately, the Manta doesn't have a chair, so I can't sit in it to repair it quickly. Still, we have a few shots going around, and I just want to decide to actually jump on the responder and use the gun, accuracy from the gun to fire myself and just core out the components myself, rather than letting the AI aim at things, because it was having difficulty striking it. So I took advantage of the player's 100% accuracy with regard to aiming at specific targets. And then the last design just slowly but surely disintegrates. Fantastic. We did lose the Dolphin and the Splash again. We also lost the Atos, but I'm expecting to lose that in most battles due to just how cheap it is. If it takes give it like a slightest knock, it just explodes. So there is that. Let's go send the Logi Darts over here, sort them out, and we'll head up through towards Airwick. Actually no, let's go to the 76 design. The Air Force is getting closer, it's up to past 60% on both designs now. We'll see what we're about to face in this tile. The Deep Water Guard are going to reinforce these tiles, that's reasonable. Spy Satellite, move towards there please. Right, what are we facing? We are facing a Drake, a Pilfer, an Urchin, a Corsair, a Kalmar, another Pilferer, and a Coyote. I don't recognise several of those craft. Load of forces coming around the south as well now. Intriguing. I'll head back over to here to reinforce this, where we can hopefully get the plane Air Force operational. We can start using them this episode, because it looks like we're going to need them. But first of all, let us begin the combat with the 72 tile. So we are facing one of the Kalmars, which is always interesting. So used to testing against them, but actually facing one in the combat is a little bit interesting. And responder, going to go that way. Then the Dolphin. The Politician is just going to orbit in a long distance from there. I'm going to... what should I go on? The Dolphin seems to be the one taking most hits, so I'll sit on Dolphin and go from here. I didn't check what was going to spawn in. Unfortunately, we have quite a low spawn, so I'm going to just up it up a little bit. So they've now got the Dolphin, but the Responder and the Politician Silent are not in. And that could cause problems. Then again, the enemy aren't spawning in too much at once either. A little bit concerning with this fight because the enemy actually have APS weaponry. They are not just cram. And APS definitely have a nasty chance of striking us and doing a good amount of damage. Because, well, they are a lot faster. Cram is very easy to dodge. APS, because of their just inherent faster speed, for the vast majority of shells, if you can make very slow APS weapons, it means that they are very, very likely to strike a target. And even when firing under the water, the higher velocity is just able to compensate and actually is striking the Manta there quite happily. Unfortunately for, I think it's the Pilferer, the Manta is able to have a perfect line on that AI and ammunition stores, so it's just able to blow it up from the underneath. So I just try and jump onto the Manta to repair it, and unfortunately it still does not have a chair. This is an inside joke, don't worry. And so, leaping on to several other designs just to try and keep them going. The Dolphin again is having a bit of difficulty, and it seems to probably wants to swim. It doesn't really like flying. The other designs though have started disintegrating. The relentless assault from the Manta and all the masses of torpedoes in this force are doing very, very, very good against the surface craft of the enemy. Raidblade there just goes ramming past its friendly Deepwater Guard and loses an entire wing there, which is a bit of an issue because it doesn't have much defences against ramming attacks. We do now have our entire forces in the game, so we are now operating, and the torpedoes are still doing very well against these wooden hulls, as are several of the other missiles. That just leaves a few little things for us to just keep on firing and eliminate. All in all though, a very successful battle. Maybe not the most successful, but it is technically the strongest battle we have faced, so I would like to fight more battles of this caliber to try and give us a bit more of a challenge rather than just massed hoplites and wanders. Fantastic, the force did decently well again. Taking a little bit of damage. The Dolphin is probably one of the weaker designs here. It takes a lot of damage. As did the Splash there. The Splash is though quite a cheap little one. Just waiting for the last few moments of the B1A3 to finish up, and then we will move on out. Let's move our forces out. We'll go just try and grab a couple of these tiles and advance on. So the first fleet is ready to start a combat with a couple of forces. We have, I'll just take out both these styles. It's got an Outline Urchin, Vanguard Retrofit Coyote, and then also a load of damaged Sea Vipers. With the huge number of torpedoes, I am not concerned really with how we're going to deal with the surface fleets here. Sea Viper, the Manta, we're going to do rather well. So let's actually jump on to the, what is it? What's the way to do it? Number? We're going to jump on the Wave Blade this time. Right, it looks like there's a couple of monkey barrels and a load of very weak designs down below there. Right. So a massive barrage of shots coming out from all the targets. And so I think, oh no, is this actually going to be a bit dangerous? But no, they're simple. They see is it's not actually dangerous. We are technically facing a couple of fleets, but Chacharodon's design fires and blows things up with reckless abandon there, taking out... Did the enemy just kill themselves there? I think when the enemy just shot themselves up the sky. Awesome. Chocmerks responded as moving in, and doing also a very good number on these targets, and as does the Dolphin, which I believe actually just rammed straight through one of the hoplites, which is quite amusing. It's such a small target. As for the other fleet, well, it's already despawning, so fantastic job there for the forces to take out that lot. I believe it's in the Manta over that way. So yeah, looking around, the forces pretty much disintegrating all over the place. We've just got these monkey barrels which are slowly floating around, but it's pretty much game over for them. Chongmut just fires its little Sabogan straight up through the middle of the monkey barrel, and it just disintegrates, falling straight out the sky in very, very quick fashion, meaning that it's actually not that powerful. The Politician is also firing its missiles, and every now and then one you see just strikes into a target, either destroying it with the fragmentations or disabling it with the EMP. So again, very nice little weapon systems there. Just now trying to find the last target, and it does seem to be over here, though it has a lot of torpedoes ramming into it, and it's already dead. Congratulations. Excellent job. Again, did a very strong strike on those targets there. Well, send the Lodge Darts up to go up here and possibly repair and place some of these silence forces here. But what we now have is the plane on its route out to take out this attacking force. Coyote Antlion, Walrus, Marauder, and a Water Buffalo. Well, the force is blockaded, but I'm not going to go into the combat just yet, but I'm going to have to, because time is going down. Darn. Ooh, it's an eerie nighttime battle. Quite a few enemies spawned in over here. Just see the glow of them just in the dark there. Let's begin the battle, see how well we can defeat them. There's a lot of shells. Glorious fire, particularly with this nighttime, but it just goes to dawn very quickly. I am considering maybe changing the weather so we do have a little bit more of this night and dull battle, because this looks really atmospheric and really rather pretty, but it's getting light a little bit too quick for me. So I might just adjust the weather to allow us to have these much more atmospheric battles, because these Wanders look absolutely menacing at night. And look at that, as the Dolphin goes through, they're firing and all the missiles are shots going all over the place. And just seeing the tracers is absolutely glorious, because unfortunately I'm not able to run BM effects mod with this campaign, because although it looks awesome, it's just slows the game down just too much for the use in a campaign setting. In tournaments I am able to use it because tournaments are generally a little bit easier to run, the block counts aren't as great, but in the fleet sizes and number of weapons we're utilising in this, it just ends up being too laggy and we drop too many frames. And although these battles go nice and quick at the moment, later on these battles are going to get absolutely enormous, because we're going to have fairly large fleets ourselves and the enemy are going to be in absolutely massive quantities due to the rules of this game. All the Wanders now have though been downed, and as soon as they get in the water, the torpedoes just start launching towards them, though they just have enough buoyancy to avoid most of the torpedoes there. So congratulations to the Wanders for surviving for maybe a couple more seconds. That battle didn't last too long. Our weaker designs did take a little bit of beating. That's Chuck Merck's ones. Still nothing really to concern ourselves much about at the moment, except the fact that my resources are running a little bit scarce. Just waiting for this force to get to the front line. So what I've done to make them go faster, I've just scrapped the Monk, which was at 3 meters per second, so at least now going at 26. Let's see how Fleet 2, the Air Force, do against a ground contingency, well no, sea contingency, which consists of a fair few decent craft, I think. Still nothing too mad yet. Something is going up with the spawn. Oh, actually, I think we aren't that high up with the points yet. And a lot of the easy designs actually do have just small point values, particularly with how I have modded this campaign. Monkey barrel, hoplites. Yeah, it's bizarre. Still facing very, very weak designs. Why aren't we facing things like the squirrel? The squirrel should be spawning in. I'll have to go through the spawn settings and just make sure things are actually meant to be coming in correctly. Oh, it's going to go into this combat again. Right, let's begin this battle. Here is the Drake column. So different Drake at the front. Still, they shouldn't be too difficult to destroy, since we have a decent amount of, well, light anti-air, and Drakes have absolutely abysmal defences. The defences are even more abysmal when they shoot them all themselves in the back with their cram cannons. So we're down to like half the number of Drakes. That's not really dangerous, and they weren't dangerous in the first place. With the Dolphin and the Responder, both from Chokmerk, doing an absolutely nasty number of them with their very small sabot weaponry. And it's just enough to essentially knock them out of play very, very rapidly. This one though did take a bit of damage there, so I chopped on that to try and repair it. But it's just now waiting for the rest of the forces to try and destroy it. And that was an amazing hit there by the wave blade there. It is just completely smashed into the front of the duster, making it fall out the sky, as it was also hit with missiles. And there we go, little finisher from the FA2. Oh, this force looks a little bit scarier. Yeah, that force is looking a little bit more worrisome. Because then, yeah, it's got quite a lot larger force. Again, just save the episode, and then we'll actually end the episode on, well, after this Air Force fight, because I want to see how they perform, to see if we need to make any modifications to the Air Force for next episode. So we do actually have a considerable we don't have very much of an advantage. We are outnumbered 3-1. So we've got the Monk, the Eclair, and the Impetuous Fury, and the B1A3 fortunately does not spawn, nor does the plane. But the Eclair should do really, really well. Let's begin the battle. It looks like the Marauder is currently mating with one of its allies. That's going to not serve either of them much good. The first battle with a T2, and unfortunately it's not a very good one. A bit of a shame we do not showcase the forces in a very good light, particularly with a broken enemy like that. But the pram cannons coming from the Echo do a close but not quite bombardment there. If there were more enemies that would have worked well. And at last the Marauder and whatever it's mating with did explode. A bit of a climax there. The EMP smashes through the first design but doesn't hit anything vital, which is a bit of a shame. Necla responds in kind, firing its pram, doing a good amount of damage, but it now gets a very, very low, so I'm a bit concerned about that there. Now comes the T2 with its massive, massive array of bombs, which just all smack into exactly the same target. And yeah, did it destroy it? It did a rather ridiculous amount of damage regardless. But the Eclair is still going in, doing a decent way of attack, but not doing particularly strong as I was expected. Oh, and the Eclair just took a nasty, nasty strike, detonating internally there, so there's a bit of a pain. Soaring Cataclysm's design doesn't seem to be doing much. It is in the battle, but I can't see the tracers anywhere. Maybe it's having a bit of ammunition difficulty. It has only just been recently spawned in, so it may not have fully reloaded yet, which is a bit of a shame. I was hoping it would be in this fight because it would do absolutely amazingly. The plane, though, is doing well with its swinging around, dive-bombing attacks. Ooh! Ow, the Monk took a big hit there, losing the majority of its, well, everything, as did the Eclair. So, yeah, we took a very nasty amount of damage, especially considering these are not really meant to be anti-air craft. Still, I am hoping they'll do very well, and several designs are doing amazingly well. So the plane is doing well. The Impetuous faculty should do very well if it's things up its loading issues. And the B1A3, it's absolutely fantastic strike, but is whether or not it's going to be able to maintain that throughout longer battles, should we even have them at all to face. But looking forward to trying that out. Well, that battle completed in a decent space of time. Nectar took a nasty hit, but otherwise the planes did pretty well. Despite taking a reasonable amount of damage across the board, they did actually survive, and they do have a nice bit of repair tentacles, so able to keep themselves operational, which is fantastic. Though I do believe the Fleet 1 do now have that capability as well. So just click that, that should be able to repair itself. Yes, it does, so they do now have repair capabilities. Awesome. Oh, we have went across the tile, so we've got the Scupper, Marauder and the Vanguard all spawned in at this tile, and then the plane of Force 2 is going to go and intercept. Awesome. But that is going to be it for this episode. So, thank you very much for watching this episode of From the Depths, Nother Neter campaign with myself and a Diffin. If you did enjoy the episode, please leave a like and or comment below, as it is always great to hear from you lot. Also, be sure to check out the rest of my channel for more From the Depths videos and other games, and swing by the Discord channel as well, where it is a great place to talk about various games and also talk about the various submissions and make them and improve upon them in more real time. Otherwise, that's going to be it from me for now, and I shall see you next time. But until then, I'm out. Goodbye!